and welcome to another episode of Liz on Biz. Here with me today is Jane Harris. Welcome to the show, Jane.
What's up, Liz? Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I am thrilled. You have an awesome personality. And you guys, before we started recording, I told Jane like all of my big feelings about when I go out driving and how people yell at me. And we think we want to make the world less angry in the car. So if you are listening in the car, use your horn wisely. Only, you know what the best time to beep is? I mean, never, but then the second best time to beep is if you're like in a CVS parking lot, this happens to me, and people back up and they don't know you're there. That's a great time to beep.
Makes sense.
Because
Makes
then
sense.
it's like, and it's also like a dude, I'm here.
Not ah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to look like a nutbird because they could be a nutbird. They could be, yeah.
You got it.
Maybe their one bad hair day. Get it? I'm bringing a segue. One
I
bad
love
hair
it.
day
And they're ready
away
to
from,
pop off.
all right,
Exactly.
yeah, away from, they actually, you know what? Maybe they got so mad they had smoke coming out of their pores and the hair just right off them. Maybe. But tell us, so now, spoiler alert, tell us all a little bit about your business.
Well, my name is Jane Harris. Like you said, thank you for the amazing introduction.
Yeah.
I am a wig maker. I cater to women who want to look really busy women who want to look and feel their best. And I've been doing it for the last 16 years. It's been an amazing journey.
So how do you get into wig making?
So I was working retail in New York as a shoe sales manager on Madison Avenue. I had worked there for 13 years. I worked for the company in Atlanta and they promoted me to their flagship store, I think 7 years into our work relationship. But when I got to New York, it was a different vibe. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. First of all, I'm an immigrant from Africa, went to Atlanta, Georgia, which was already a culture shock. And then now in New York, the
Yeah.
people in New York are different, right? So
Yeah.
I'm amongst these women who had Cartier, Chanel, and their hairstyle.
Well,
They
Madison Avenue
like
is
Madison Avenue,
also a
like
vibe.
their hairstylists were millionaires. You know what I mean? Like this was like a whole nother group of women. They weren't just rich; they were filthy rich.
Yeah.
Generationally rich. Grandparents were already rich.
Yeah.
Grandchildren are rich. Like it was just a
Gossip Girl, like Gossip Girl rich.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So around them, I realized that I could kind of mimic their clothes because, for me to sell to those kind of affluent women, I needed to look the part. So I was a great thrifter and Zara sales. So I was able to put clothes together. The one thing that I couldn't quite cheat was hair. My hair, I was like, why? My hair wasn't up to par with how I wanted to feel. And it's always been that way as a child, but this was the first time I felt naked with my hair. I was like, ugh, I don't like this. And there was a wig maker around the corner from me that I went to
Ooh.
go check. I'm like, let me just see how much it will cost me to have my wig done. And it was only an option because my client had one. And the wig maker was like, oh, it's, $6,000. I'm like, that's 2 months, paycheck for me,
Yeah.
which, I was like, no. And at the time I was making $120, $120,000 a year for a 25-year-old. Amazing. Great salary.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's still in New York, that 60%
Doesn't get
of
you
that
as
is
far as
gone.
you think.
You're
Yeah.
literally poor with that kind of money. But
Yeah.
I didn't have enough after taxes and expenses to even think of affording it. I was like, well, I'll make my own wig. So I made my first wig, and that's kind of how the journey started with me.
So when you were like, I'm gonna do my own, did you go on YouTube? Like,
Oh,
how would you even,
absolutely.
yeah,
YouTube
because,
University. I was like, this got, and it took me far I made my first wig, which was terrible. It was so bad. It looked so bad. But even in that moment of it looking bad, there was an ounce of hope because I was like, oh, this looks better than my hair now. I mean, it doesn't
yeah.
look great, but it doesn't look that bad. My hair looks worse. So I just kept doing it. I kept doing it part-time, just kept working on it. And one day I made a wig that my sister, who has a full head of hair, wanted to wear. I'm like, you want that? She was
Oh,
like, it's
then you're
beautiful.
on to
I love it.
something.
I was like, wait, if she wants to wear it and she has a full head of hair, this is a good wig. So
Oh,
that's kind
wow.
of how my spark and my love and my obsession really for hair kind of started.
Yeah, because before that you were in shoes, so you went from the bottom to the top.
Literally,
right?
never said it that way. I'm gonna use that.
I love that.
Literally,
You should say it in your bio. Be like, da
never
da da
thought
da
about it
da.
that way.
Like
I'm
when
gonna
your
use that.
agent, yeah, when your agent pitches you on shows and stuff, you should
From
be
the
like,
bottom
from
to
the bottom to the
the
top.
top.
Jane is ready to make you look like a glamazon. Like, I don't know, something cool, but like that's what I picture. See, I'm a copywriter, if you can't tell.
I saw it in your bio.
Yeah.
Yes, I
I
saw it in your
love that
bio. Good
stuff.
job. Yes,
I
I
enjoy
never thought
it.
about that.
Yeah. No, things just come to my brain.
You're
It's
blessed.
fun.
I love
I'm
that.
very blessed.
You are blessed because
I
that
think
takes a
about
lot.
it.
Yes, that's a blessing. That's like I'm a Christian, so when I pray, I say, God, please give me the wisdom of Solomon. I just want wisdom, and that was wise. I
You know
love
what's
that.
funny? I used to have a thing on my website called Words of Wisdom.
No,
Yeah, Liz, like Words of Wisdom. And
that's so
I haven't
cool.
done it in a long time. I had all kinds of stuff. Like at
You
Words
got to
of
bring that
Wisdom,
back.
Liz tuition is a word I made up. I haven't trademarked it, but I probably should. But Liz tuition meaning like trust your Liz tuition, trust your
Wow.
inner self. And then Liz on Biz is like me
I like
on the
Liz on Biz.
podcast.
It was so
Yeah.
catchy.
It's
Yeah.
very well, we thought of it, so I wasn't there, but my developer was in the shower and he thought of it. And then he called me and he was like, that's the name of the show. Because like at the time I just was like, we should do a show because like I had time, which is unusual. And
It's
this
a
is what
great
you're
name.
on. It's
It's a
fun
great
name.
name. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It caught my
Jane,
eye.
and now Jane is on Biz because you're here. So
That's right.
Jane is with Liz on Biz on Biz. We're
I
all
love
busy.
it.
We're all
Talking
busy
big.
bizzing. I have a wig story for you, or a wig anecdote. So I had cancer
Oh,
in
wow.
2024 to 2025, and I'm
Wow.
in remission.
Thank
Thank
God.
you. And I lost my hair. My hair was like really big. And like, because I was like, I don't know, I don't want to say I was known for my hair like the way like a newscaster is known for their hair, but like it was a very big part of my identity.
Of
And
course.
then but it's funny, or not funny, like, but like what's remarkable, I guess, is when you're sick, like your hair gets really thin anyway. So my hair, which was like, I'm Italian and I got some other stuff in there that
Mm,
makes it really big. And then it eventually started getting thin. My complexion was kind of gray. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me for a really long time. And then it was like took 9 months to get my diagnosis. Then I started going to treatment, and then obviously chemo makes you lose your hair. So it was
yeah.
already thin. I had it cut into a bob so it was more tolerable to lose my hair. And then I shaved it because for me, I don't know if you've ever heard this from your wig, like any wig friends, but like my hair follicles, like they hurt from chemo.
Yeah.
Like the follicles, not even just so it like when I shaved my head, it was like thank God, because like my follicles needed a break.
That's crazy.
I know. Well, now you know so much about hair. So you make this wig and your sister sees this wig. Oh wait, I didn't tell you the whole wig story. Hold on. No, back to wig story. The wig
Yeah.
story is I called a wig place that like everybody's like, "Oh, they're so wonderful near me." They never called me back. I went to a place on Newbury Street. I know, and I left a voicemail like, "Ah, hi, I have lymphoma. Can you like help me make a wig or whatever?" No response. I call this place on Newbury Street in Boston. Very bougie wig store. One of my closest friends takes me there. She drives all the way to see me to take me to the wig store. I got so sick in the car because like you're like chemo, you're predisposed to nausea. But it's like
Yeah.
if you get into a car and you're predisposed to nausea and there's traffic. So I was so sick by the time I got there, I couldn't stay. I had to go home. And
That's
so I didn't buy a wig from them. I know it. So these are my wig anecdotes. And then I finally met somebody in the waiting room of the place, like of the lymphoma office. And then they told me about a wig place that I finally got wigs at. But it was hard to find a good wig. This is me telling
yeah.
you that. Have you
Yeah.
heard that before?
All the time. All the
Yeah.
time. It's first of all, it's the emotional it's coming to terms that you actually need a wig, right? I
Hmm.
think a lot of women does it that it's actually back still is, but not as much as it was, I would say 15 years ago when people were associating shame with
Yeah.
wanting or needing a wig till Kylie Jenner came out and spoke openly about this turquoise wig that she had on and made it a thing. And everybody kind of, a bunch of other celebrities were like, oh, I wear a wig too. I wear a wig too. And all of that. So it became more acceptable. But
Yeah.
prior to that, when I started my business, there was still a lot of shame around
Mm.
wearing a wig. People did not want to wear a wig. So much that when I decided to start my wig business, I did not want to call my wigs because I was like, there's a negative connotation with the
I
word
understand
wig.
that.
So I was like, what do other cultures call wigs? And we played with different cultures. Nigeria, I didn't like the word because I'm Nigerian, but I'm like, it's too difficult to pronounce. I need to use a word
Mm.
that's easier to pronounce, blah, blah. So we thought about Portuguese. They call their wigs peruca. I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
that
that's
sounds
nice.
really cool. Peruca. It's exact.
Peruca.
Peruca. There's a roll in the tongue that I would like.
Peruca.
Exactly. So that's what we did. We started and we call our wigs peruca. What I didn't realize I was creating was sort of like a click, right? Because now
Yeah.
I had people who, because you can't pronounce it. Yes, you can pronounce it. How is it pronounced? What is it? So it was a conversation starter. And it
Yes.
became a marketing tool when my intention was to distance myself away from the word wig as much as I could, right? So yeah, we call our wigs peruca.
And so you still call them peruca,
Absolutely.
and then, but you probably also say wig now because now wig
Peruca
is
wig. Yes,
associated with,
exactly. Yes,
wig
I
became
see.
less stigmatized, and
Yes,
people kind of like what I learned in my cancer journey is that people use it's fashion. It's really just an extension. It's like getting a bag.
it's
Like,
like
do
a
you know what I
purse.
mean?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's
Isn't that kind of
acceptable.
amazing?
Yes, it is. It's a good time to be in the wig business for sure.
And yeah, so who are your clients typically? Like, what are they like as people? And how did you come to find them in the beginning?
So in the beginning, we had no clue. Of course, I mean, this is a new business. I was a new entrepreneur. I just looking for I used influencers. I used
Yeah.
YouTube influencers in the beginning. That's when YouTube influencing was
Yes.
kind of getting crazy, but not to where you couldn't afford them. So I found micro influencers that were really good with doing hair. And I remember reaching out to, because I had tried this. At first, I sold it to my friends and family, which was a
Yeah.
fail. They're like, oh, please, you didn't even go to hair school. Oh, please. All of a sudden, now you're selling hair. I already have my supplier. I mean, these are family and friends that
Yeah.
you thought will support you, which usually never happens.
Never happens.
Exactly. So I'm in my phone list. I say, you buy hair already. I will give you a discount. Just buy from me. Okay, silence, right? So I was like, okay, well, I got to do this a different way. Thank God I have a
Yeah.
marketing degree and I had worked for the shoe store.
Yes.
The owner of my company, amazing guy, Gary, out of Louisiana, I'm sorry, Illinois. He was
Mm.
just an amazing founder. The company has been in his family for over 70 years. So he's a tough, let's get it done, no nonsense kind of boss. And I remember when we opened a New York store, he goes, Jane, I need you to get in touch with all the concierge within a mile radius of your store. I was like, well, that's schmoozing. So we're on Madison Avenue. So if we're going to bring it in
Right.
for like a cocktail hour, what kind of cheese are we buying? What kind of wine? He goes, nope, you have $100 budget. Make it happen.
Whoa.
We're on Madison Avenue. We're on 53rd and Madison, right in the middle of wealth, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
third, they know we're paying $70,000. Like they know we have like there's money. The store
Yeah.
is projected to do 3 million a year. Like we need to spend a little something.
Yeah.
He goes, Jane, you have $100, make it work. So I made it work. Call it Sam's Club, calling it schmoozing or giving it a fancy name, calling it a cocktail hour with really Trader Joe's inexpensive wine, making it work, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
made it work. So I did that for 10 years with him
Mm.
and brought great results, turned that $100 to 3,000, five
So
thousand,
you became a
10,000.
really good business person
I
because of
became
that.
exactly bootstrapping, making it work with
Hmm.
nothing, and it was great. So I use that skill in my business, and I tell people all the time: if you're not, if you don't own your business right now, if you're not a founder yet, wherever you are, start to utilize those skills and practice them and making it work, and just using that opportunity to get better and fine tune
Yes.
your skills. Because I got really good with bootstrapping, so that skill allowed me to say, okay, which influencer can I work with without spending any money, right?
Hmm.
Which one can I just send flowers to say, hey, I love your work, and I send you a few bundles to showcase? Like I'll spend $50 on flowers as opposed to paying them $500, right? So
Yes.
doing those unconventional kind of
Doing deals.
exactly to make it happen. And I did
Yeah.
that for our first year. And I was able, within 6 months of doing that, I remember the first time we worked with an influencer that really had influence, but she was a micro influencer and we didn't pay her. It was just an exchange
Yeah.
for, and I woke up to a $20,000 day. And I'm like, I hadn't
Whoa.
sold 20,000 ever. Like I hadn't even sold $500 yet. So I remember waking up to a $20,000 day and we were not prepared. We were overwhelmed. It was in one day.
Yeah.
Phones were ringing off the hook. And I think that was the day that changed my life, knowing that, oh, I can really do this. This could work.
Yeah. How
You know,
validating. I
yeah.
mean, that must have been so validating because you're like, and she was a micro. People underestimate micro influencers all the time.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
She was tiny, but it was just
But
amazing.
she had influence,
She had influence because the people that followed her loved her. That's
trusted
why,
her.
especially when people go on people's Instagram and go, oh, they have 500 followers. They have 500 people that actually care about them as opposed to your 5
Yeah.
million and nobody cares. Like, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm not really connected to numbers after that experience. I know that
No,
it,
that would change me forever.
exactly, exactly. I was like, wow. So yeah, it was, I think after that moment, within 6 months of that type of influence, and of course, we worked with
Yeah.
many other micro influencers who, it's funny because most of the micro influencers we worked with 15 years ago are now multi-millionaires, most of them. They're the big
Wow.
ones in Hollywood now. I mean, they're doing movies, they're on billboards. I mean, these are girls that I worked with, and I look at them and I'm like, I knew it. Like you had the influence the whole time. So
Yeah.
it's this crazy work watching them be amazing that they are now. But anyways,
Hmm.
doing all of that within 6 months, I was able to make my yearly salary. So I'm like,
Wow.
6 months of not really knowing what I'm doing, and I made my yearly salary. This is so
You
yeah,
must know. I mean, well, it's crazy. I think it's like when you're in a job, right? Where you're like, this isn't my calling, but I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to learn everything I can. I think it's that like scrappiness, like good scrappiness
yes.
is like gives you the chops to be able to be like you didn't know you had it, but you had it.
Yeah, I was motivated by wanting to buy back my time. I just had a
Mm,
baby. I got married, had a baby, and the work that I had loved so much with the shoe store,
yeah.
doing the decent money I was doing, it all of a sudden wasn't enough anymore. It wasn't
Yeah.
enough to, get the wink from my accountant to say, "Wow, Jane, you're doing really well selling shoes," when my bank account didn't reflect it. It
Yeah.
wasn't enough to brag around my friends and say, oh, because I made more than all my friends at the time, which is
Hmm.
another thing that's not good. You don't want to be the one that makes the most money. You will not aspire to want to be more, right? I wasn't in rooms
Hmm.
that I was the biggest one in most of the rooms I was in, which
Yeah,
is
they always
not
say
good.
that's
It
bad.
is not good at all. I wasn't comparing myself to anything else. I was my friends all looked up to me.
Oh,
So that was very dangerous. So all
yeah.
of a sudden, when my baby came, I was like, I don't care about any of that anymore. I just want to spend
Yeah.
as much time with my child. So I'm
Yes.
like, of course, I traded my 9 to 5 for 24/7. But at the time,
Yes.
I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I was like, when I'm an entrepreneur, I can do whatever I want. I can wake up anytime. Yeah, right. But then that
Yeah.
was my motivation to wanting to
That was I mean, mine was before I had my son, but it was so I could make the cho like, do you know what I mean? I wanted to build something so I had the freedom to make the choice to live,
yeah,
to do what I wanted to do at that point.
yes,
And I
exactly.
did.
Yes. I mean, if I had a 9 to 5, I wouldn't be able to sit here and do this interview because
No.
this, like that time restraint will be there. So yeah. And it has been that leap of faith of wanting to do exactly what I wanted to do, even when I didn't have the know-how or the resources. When I was ready to start my hair business, I
Mm,
was broke because yes, I was on paper, I was making 120,000, but I was broke. I was paycheck to paycheck. I had to
yeah.
borrow the money from my husband, my boyfriend at the time. I'm like, babe, you just got paid. Can I, loan a few $100 because I need to buy some samples for some hair? He gave me, I think, $500, and that's what I used to buy samples, and that's what started the business.
And here you are. Are you guys still together?
He's my husband now, 17.
Yay!
Thank God.
Yay! That's amazing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Congratulations. No,
Yeah.
and so at what point in the name of the business is it's the Virgin Hair Fantasy, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure people that like want to Google it, know the
Yeah.
virgin hair fantasy. But then at what point, because you also have this other side of you that does education and
Yeah.
mentorship and all that. So
Yeah.
tell when did the mentorship part come in?
I think for me, what this hair journey has taken me is I was just wanting to sell the hair for pretty and beautiful. But what I
Yeah.
found was when I started talking to my clients, I have clients that spend, I don't know, $40,000. Example, one of my clients, she spent $40,000 within 5 years of doing business with me. I'm like, 40 grand, girl, you're like my bestie. I love you. Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? Like, thank you for investing in my business. So I'm talking to her and she's insecure.
Mm.
She wears her wigs, but she still doesn't go out.
Oh,
She doesn't feel like she's pretty. I'm like, I felt like I failed her. I was like, that's not what I like. Yes, I got paid, but
yeah.
what brings me more joy is when I get those emails of clients like, oh my gosh, I just went out. I went on my first date with this guy and I looked so good. And that fulfilled me more than my
Yeah.
bank account, which I would have never thought until it actually happened, right? I just like
Hmm.
money, I'm good with the money. But when I started really digging deeper and talking to my clients and caring about the women that actually pay my bills,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're not happy. The wig
No.
was just a band-aid. Like you need more than
Whoa.
a wig.
Yeah.
So I changed my marketing. Not because I sat there like, we're gonna change our marketing. No, I did it based on I want to help her.
Yeah.
So I started sending different kind of emails. I'm like, okay, we can't sell in every email. We have to ask them if they've exercised, like how they can be more positive. What
Mm.
books can help them be positive and stay positive? Have they done their mammogram, or are they checking? Are they investing? Do they understand that those things will make them financially free? And so I literally changed my marketing. I started this thing called Wigs and Words. I did it for 2 years and I may bring it back. I will get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and read with them for 30 minutes. And we would read together the books that I
Mm.
was reading because I was into really mindset and building myself up because I was not a confident person. I was
Yeah.
building myself up. And I'm like, I'm not an expert. Like, I'm trying to be better, but you can be better with me. Right.
Beautiful.
So they held me accountable. I held because I knew I had to be there. So I would read the chapter ahead. And because of that, it just kind of helped me out as well. So I was building this community of women who really loved me without
Hmm.
really trying. And it
Mm.
became a thing where I just got a message from a client just yesterday. And she was like, Jane, I got tired of you shouting at me to start a business, and I finally did.
Oh,
Just want you to know that you did so much for me. And and I'm paraphrasing right now, but she was like, thank you for the shouting. Cause I would, I get
yeah.
excited. I'm like, you need to stop. Da, da, da. I would do
Oh,
that
yeah. I love that.
not because I wanted to shout, I'm so passionate,
Yeah.
about it because I was so insecure about myself. I remember when I wanted to start the business, people were like, you want to start a hair business? There's so many hair businesses out there. What's yours? Why is yours going to be
Oh,
successful?
yeah.
$10 million later. Like to think that this African girl who started with 500 bucks has made over 10 million online.
That's crazy.
That story blows my mind and I experienced
Yes.
it. So I'm like, I'm showing you not because I want to brag, but because I want you to know it's possible.
Mm. And it's almost like, and I want to just say, when you said what you just said, I got like little chills because I think sometimes, like, I think that as women business owners, and many of our listeners are women, and for the dudes, hey and welcome. But like for many of us, you get shy about saying how much money you made, or you get shy about ooh, $1 million. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could make 1 million. Like, and you get all like weird and your body gets weird. And it's
Exactly.
like I always like to say, what it reminds me of what I say to people when they're like, oh, Liz, like, what do I charge for XYZ? Like, it could be a product. And like with products, there's more math to it. But like with service, like, what I like to say is it's the highest amount you can say without laughing, because that means that you're challenging your own sort of vibration to like raise it just a little bit. But
Yes.
like I remember like I was on a podcast and I was on, it's a really fun show actually. It's called Marriage, Kids and Money. Oh my God, maybe you should go on it. Okay, maybe I'll hook you up because it's a really good show. It's my
Oh,
friend
cool.
slash client Andy, and it's a great excellent following and really cool. But it's a show where you talk about money stuff. And you don't have to be a money expert. I just told him my experiences, as a business owner, how much.
Right.
And then I said something about, oh, we grossed 300 something last year, thousand, 300 something thousand, which I was, I'm thrilled. And we have
Yes.
this sort of steady, like upward arrow. And I'm very proud of that. And then when he published the episode, the graphic is like $300,000 a year as a web designer. Da, da, da. Like, and I was like, oh my God, well, it's true. But like,
Yes,
I was like, oh
exactly.
my God. And then like I saw it and I was like, whoa. And what's crazy is like sometimes I'll tell like, and then when people hear it, they're like, I think that they're like, well, it can do two things. Like one, they could, if they're weird with themselves, they could be like, I hate that she said that. And then some other people might be like, oh, that inspires me to be better. So then when
Right.
I'm now in a room with you, Jane, I'm like, I feel my vibration going, and I'm like, oh gosh, I want more of what Jane's got, that level of
Yes.
awesomeness. And
Yes.
not that I'm not awesome, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
And it's like you're
Speaking.
challenging me to
Yes.
raise my vibration, to say, why
Absolutely.
not? And my bookkeeper does this to me too. So she started to do these meetings and she's like, Liz, why not 500,000? Why? And like, we just talk about it. And I was like, yeah, yeah, why not? Why
Exactly.
not? Why not? And how can
Exactly.
I, and oh gosh, and there's so many things that you also shared. And I love that you have this marketing brain because you can just hear your brain going do 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 do. And it makes better sounds on that, but like how your wheels turned when that woman told you how she was feeling, and then you changed all your marketing to speak
Yes.
more to the woman. And it's funny, it's like I'm emphatically I in fact I undersell like as a service-based business. Am so nurturing, but I could even be more nurturing because I care so much about the feelings, but the feelings are so important.
Yes. It
Well,
really is. There's a lot of wig makers,
hmm.
and the online space for wig making is it's huge. And I follow all of them because I love research. And I haven't seen any wig maker marketing the way I do. And that's
Yeah.
not to brag. It's more like everyone is selling, doing a great job at selling, talking about the
Yes.
products. But I am pulled towards a different direction. And sometimes it looks like I lost my way. Sometimes it looks like I remember hiring a marketing person, and
Mm.
I immediately knew she wasn't going to work out because she was like,
Yeah.
Jane, you are luxury. You are a luxury brand because your wigs are between $500 to $3,000. So I feel like when you record these videos and you're talking and giving people advice, I just feel like it doesn't go. This was like 9 years ago,
Hmm.
before the yapping thing was a thing, and now people are doing the yap contest and everyone's
Right.
talking about. And I was like, but why does it feel right when I do it? Why do I get these emails of people wanting more of it? Like, she was like, but does it convert to sales? I was like, I can't tell you that me telling someone to start a brokerage account with their
Mm.
9-year-old because I did it, and now I'm
Sounds like
benefiting
she
from
doesn't
it.
work intuitively, and she sounds like the kind of marketer that's obsessed with KPIs,
Yes,
and
yes,
I hate those.
yes. And I'm like, I I can't tell you if that conversation is going to lead to a sale, but I can tell you
It
that
was the right thing to do.
she will always think about that. And that I'm not thinking
Mm.
about that end dollar. I feel like that I'll be taken care of from a universe money perspective, regardless. It may not come from
Yes.
her, but it'll come from another
It will
energy. Like,
come.
but I couldn't articulate that at the time. I was like, it just felt right to, because my son is 9 and he understands the stock market more than I did at 30, because we
I
because we
love
took the
that.
time to teach him about the
To
stock
teach
market.
him.
So I shared my technique. My husband taught us, and we shared the information in our emails. I'm like, and I literally started an email like, I know this is not what you would expect from a wig maker, but here is what I learned. And
Yeah,
the
but people
response,
like that.
exactly, the response from my email list was, oh my God, Jane, thank you. I appreciate you sharing. And or when I decide during Christmas
Mm.
or during Thanksgiving to share this killer ice cream recipe that I love, I'm like, you have to try it, right? So, and for a while, after being attacked by people like her, oh, I
Mhm.
think it, da, 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 and my sales kind of dwindled a little bit. I immediately thought, oh, that's why. Maybe my audience is disconnected. And I stopped. And then what I got to confirm that I was wrong and I should go back to what I was doing was the
Yeah.
influx of emails. Jane, oh my gosh, you changed my life. Guess what? My grandson now has a brokerage account. And this lady was literally in tears. It's like, Jane,
Oh.
I'm a grandmother and I want to leave a legacy. And the brokerage account was really the perfect way. I just want you and Chef, my husband's a chef. I want you guys to know what you're doing is amazing. Continue to do.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'm doing the right thing. It may not look
Yeah.
like your marketing, whatever index that you put together, but it's a gut feeling and it's a
It's more
heart feeling.
authentic.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good.
It's intuitive. It's like I never had a business plan.
Me neither.
I don't have full year plans. I move with my audience. I try to listen. I like to teach, and this will resonate, that marketing is an extension of service. So that's what these KPI people forget, is that marketing is part of customer service. And in doing that, it's like, how can I be of service? It's not about that, it's the communication of how can I be of service in any way like that's relevant to them, because we're they're more than wig buyers. They're moms,
They're people. They're
moms,
women.
they're
Exactly.
women.
And I only found that out when I started calling my clients. I'm like, so
Mm.
you have this $3,000 wig and you don't feel good about how you like
Oh,
look? Like, no, I have it. It's in the box. I haven't worn it yet because you know what, Jane? I really want to date. I wanted someone I this 70-year-old client,
yeah,
gorgeous client. She spent $5,000 in like 3 wigs with me. So I call her to check up on her. She goes, you know what, Jane? I haven't been touched in six, I think she said four. I don't remember how long. It was a
yeah.
long time. She goes, I just want to be touched. I want someone to touch me. And I was like, are
I
you
feel
dating?
that.
I felt so, she was like, no, I haven't. I said, you need to join a Christian dating site right now. Like,
Yes.
we had a whole 20-minute conversation about what she should do, who she should get a coach. She was like, Jane, I never thought about that. I said, no, this is something that bothers you. Obviously, you're talking to me about it. I need you to take
Yeah.
the next step. And we did 20 minutes of just talking about that. Had nothing to do with wigs.
I love that you, even just the giant lesson. It's time for your last question, which is ridiculous because I could talk to you forever because you're so
Same.
fun. But like one of the giant takeaways that I want to dig into a little is just the massive value of talking to your clients.
Oh my gosh. I
Talk to
say
your
that. Talk
clients.
to your clients. I
Ask
say that
them,
all the time.
even being like, why'd you buy this? What are we doing? What's it for? Like, understanding how they feel in the relationship about you and about it, or what's
Yes,
going on with them, it's
yes,
only going to improve the relationship,
absolutely.
and it makes you feel good.
Exactly. It's my
Yeah.
juice. It's my drug. Like
Mm.
like I can't call all my clients, but I make a point to call at least in a week. My assistant, she sends me 5 phone calls a day, every day, Monday through Friday. I don't always do it. I do it 80% of the time,
Yeah.
but I do it at least 4 times a week. I'm calling clients. Like I'm my ear is to the ground. Like I'm hearing
Yeah.
from these women that are paying my bills.
I love them. I love them. I love you. I am like, this was such a rich and awesome conversation. So many good takeaways. Tell everybody, Jane, how they can find you, follow you, because I'm a new Jane fan.
Oh, thank you. You can find me on the Virgin Hair Fantasy, where we don't only obviously sell wigs, we literally build women up. That's really my true passion, to build women up.
Yes. Beautiful. You guys, all the links will be in the show notes. Jane, thank you
Yay.
so much for joining the show today.
Liz on Biz. I love it. I can't wait to come back.